Hello, everybody, and welcome to the webinar. We are so excited to have you guys here joining us today to talk about 5 ways to use digital marketing to lower your cost per lease. And this webinar is exclusively for North Carolina self-storage facilities. And it is brought to you by myself, Elise Archer, and then my colleague, Daniel Langston Miller, as well.
Hello. Hi, all. Thank you for joining us.
And so we are really excited to talk with you guys today. We are internet marketing consultants with ReachLocal, and Daniel is going to talk with you in just a second about who ReachLocal is and what we do for our small to medium-sized businesses. Between the two of us, I know we look young in our pictures, but we age really well. We have over 16 years combined experience handling digital marketing for small and medium-sized businesses. So we are really excited to talk with you guys today. So I am going to go ahead and pass this along to Daniel to talk a little bit about ReachLocal and who we are and what we do.
Good afternoon, everybody. I always feel that it is important to address this simply because, we are in a very saturated business. I'm sure that you may be working with a company, you may know somebody, a friend, a cousin that does web development, different things of that nature. And I always find that it is important to draw some contrast and distinguish who we are in the marketplace, being that we pioneered this space going back over 10 years ago. So the company was founded in 2003, started out as a software company. The idea was, how do we figure out a way to help small businesses market themselves online and provide them with a better return on investment, provide them with the tools and strategy to manage their campaigns online, where we can show a transparent return on investment and improve upon that return on investment based on the data that we're able to produce. We'll get more into that at another time perhaps. But the reason I go into this is because we have grown by leaps and bounds since then. We are a public company now. We are a global company. We have over 35 offices throughout the United States, and we have expanded around the world, all across Europe. We actually have a unique partnership with Google that no other company can claim, where we are their international feet on the street. So in certain markets in Eastern Europe or in the Pacific Southeast, we are their feet on the street. We actually just opened up in Laos. Excuse that little message right there, which is kind of crazy to me. Anyways, aside from that, we've delivered over 120 million leads to businesses like yours. We have over 24,000 active clients, over 35,000 active campaigns. So each of you, if you were with us, you'd be one campaign. We have over 35,000, so we have more data than anybody on the planet. We are also a Google AdWords Premier SMB, small business partner. What that means, we are one of a handful of companies that have been researched, vetted, and trained by Google directly. If you go onto Google's website, they will recommend that you use us to manage your AdWords. And in 2013, we won their Best Quality Accounts Award. So when they looked at what we do, they said, you guys absolutely run the best quality accounts on the planet. And so all these are huge honors. I only do it so that we can distinguish who we are versus everybody else in the marketplace. Like I said, it's a very low entry level to get into this space that we're in, and there's a lot of competition out there. But we pioneered this with software and ideas to keep you guys ahead of the competition. But more about all that later. Today it's about 5 ways that we can help you lower your cost per lease. And with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Elise.
All right. Thank you so much, Daniel. And just to elaborate a little bit on what those numbers mean really specifically for you, Daniel mentioned our experience just across all industries, but in the self-storage space specifically, we have run over 1,800 campaigns since we were founded in 2003. So we love working in this space. We love working with owners and marketing directors to help you guys get more leads for your money. And so with that, let's talk about why this is important, why digital marketing is important for your industry, and a couple of ideas we have for you guys. And I love this picture. I had to throw it in there. This is a pug who is near and dear to my heart. He is my sister's pug, Lewis. And I put this picture in here because he has this constant look of confusion, which I think is exemplified in this photo, and I don't think he loved the Peter Pan suit either. But, digital marketing as a business owner can be so confusing, and you know that it's important to do. You know that you have to do it to get new contacts and new leases ultimately, but it can be a little bit daunting to think about where do I need to be, how do I need to best allocate my money online, and how do I do it cost effectively as well and ultimately generate money out of it and generate new leases, because the end goal here is to be like the happy pug who has a lower cost per lease. But the question becomes, how do we realize the lower cost per lease by using digital media? So today that's what we're going to share with you. So let's jump right into 5 things to do online to lower your cost per lease. So the first thing is going to be to really examine and modify your pay-per-click campaign. So many of you are probably already running a pay-per-click campaign to drive leads directly into your website and into your business. Now, something that I thought was important to know is that over half of all small businesses are only optimizing their search campaigns 1 time per quarter. So this is really not the strategy that you want to take with this type of marketing. Pay-per-click campaigns can be incredibly effective for generating direct traffic and direct leads into your website, but if you use more of a set it and forget it type of approach and just set it up and then don't go in and modify bids and add in keywords that you may be missing out on or remove keywords that are spending a lot of your money but not generating any revenue, it can be a real money pit. So you want to make sure that you're in there actively managing that campaign, or that you're working with somebody who's going to help you actively manage that campaign. So let's talk about 3 different things that you can do to get more money out of your pay-per-click campaign. The first thing is going to be to expand your keyword list with more long-tail keywords. Now, a lot of businesses that we sit down and talk with may only be bidding on somewhere between 15 to 20 different keywords. They may think of all the most important kind of generic ones, so self-storage facility, boat storage, some really generic ones, but then they're missing out on a whole slew of other keywords that might be less expensive. They may get a little less traffic for you, but they're going to be less expensive, so ultimately that will be a lower cost lead for you and for your business. So we like to look at what we call more long tail keywords, which is going to be a keyword phrase that's 3 or more words. So self-storage facility, Raleigh, North Carolina, or store my boat, Charlotte, NC would be a few examples of long tail keywords. There's a couple of advantages to doing this. First is that it's going to be less expensive to bid on those. Everybody bids on the really generic keywords like self-storage, but when you get into those more really specific niche type of keywords, you're going to have less competition, so you're going to show up higher and you're going to spend less to get that visitor to your website. The other advantage of it is that a long tail keyword, when somebody is using that specific of a search, they're much more likely to be lower on in that buying funnel and closer to being ready to buy from you than somebody who's just starting off their search and looking at self-storage and they really have no idea what they want yet. So using those long tail keywords will help you get more traffic for your money and also some more qualified leads. We also want to look at lowering your bid amounts potentially. So we work with a lot of businesses who sit us down and say, guys, we want to be in that top position all the time for every search that people do. First of all, it's just not going to happen. It would be incredibly expensive to do that. But the second part of it is you really don't need to be there. So in your space, you've got some major players who are bidding for top positioning, selfstorage.com, publicstorage.com as well, as you can see from the screenshot here. So if you are an independently owned self-storage facility, your budget is just never going to match that of those larger groups and conglomerations who have the budget to put into just a ton of money into their pay-per-click campaign. So we advise our clients to bid a little bit less aggressively. Let's aim high. The sweet spot is really between the 2nd and the 4th position. But we don't want to waste your money by putting an exorbitant amount of money into every keyword just to be in that top position. So the 2nd to 4th position is really the sweet spot for pay-per-click campaigns. So you're still ranking high on the page. You're getting a high click-through rate on your ads as well, but you're not getting impulse clicks from people who just click on the first thing that they see and then realize that it wasn't what they were looking for and back out, which is going to be a wasted, expensive click for you. You're getting people who are reading through the ads, who are taking their time deciding what they want to look at, and it's going to cost you less for the traffic too. And then the third thing that you want to make sure that you do is make sure you've got a presence on Yahoo and Bing as well. So most businesses are going to advertise at the very least on Google. The most recent number on market share for Google is that they have approximately 68% market share of all of the search engines. But Yahoo and Bing are really important as well. They typically garner about 20% or so of all online searches. They're going to be less expensive to market your business on, so you're going to be able to get more traffic and better positioning for the same budget. And people use them. You know, people are using Yahoo and Bing too, so we want to make sure that no matter how somebody's searching for you and what search engine they prefer, that you're there and that you're an option for them to contact for their self-storage needs. The second thing that you want to do is add retargeting to your website if you have not done so already. Now, when we sat down and talked with clients about retargeting a couple of years ago, some were still a little bit fuzzy on what it meant and what the concept was, but most people at this point are familiar with retargeting and what it does. But so if you are an average website, you're only going to convert about 7 to 9% of your inbound traffic into some type of a contact where somebody either calls you, emails you, or fills out a form on your site. And every modern business, all of your marketing at the end of the day is designed to get people to your website, right? Because that's going to be the last point of contact before somebody picks up the phone and calls you or fills out that form. So if you're spending all this time and all this energy and effort to get traffic to your website, yet somewhere between 91 to 93% of those visitors are leaving without contacting you, you've got to have a second and third shot really at getting back in front of them and getting that potential business. So retargeting allows you to do that. So with retargeting, very simply, all that we do is put a code on your website that's going to allow you to put your ad back in front of somebody after they've left it. And it really doesn't matter where they go, which is the beautiful thing about it. So they could go visit Facebook, they could be checking sports scores, their stock portfolio, looking at local news, and because they've been to your website before, they're going to see an ad for your business. It's also important just because of the research process that goes into selecting a self-storage facility. So most people are going to look at a couple of different options and facilities and may take a couple of days to make that decision. So retargeting will allow you to stay in front of those prospective customers while they're doing their online research and looking at your competitors too. So retargeting is going to help you really just milk more leads out of your traffic overall. The third thing that you want to make sure that you do is manage your facility's online reputation. So according to Google, consumers are going to consult over 10 sources of information on average when they're making a buying decision. And you may do everything right to get them to your website. So you may have a killer pay-per-click campaign and you may be retargeting all of your traffic. But if somebody goes online and sees a negative online review about you, or they don't see anything about you, then they're going to be less likely to pick up the phone and call you even if they've made it all the way to your website. So making sure that your online reputation really reflects what a stellar job you're doing inside the facility is really, really important, and it's going to help you convert more sales out of people who are just researching online for self-storage. So there's a couple of very simple steps that you can take to get started with your online reputation. The first thing that you're going to want to do is establish a baseline. So in order to do that, what you're going to want to do is go to a search engine and just start typing in your business name, look for different variations of that, and look and see what's coming up. You may find some great reviews, you may find some negative reviews. You'll also see during that process which directory listings you've claimed and which ones you haven't. So you're going to want to look at the top ones that typically show up for your business name. So these are frequently going to be Google plus local, Yelp, City Search, Super Pages, the Maps listings on Yahoo and Bing, etc., etc. So you're going to want to make sure that you go in and you claim all of those listings and put them under your name so that you can add content to them, direct people to them to write online reviews about you, and so that you're managing those listings. And we have quite a bit of material that will actually walk you through step-by-step how to do that we are more than happy to send to you after the webinar. So just send us an email. I have our email addresses at the end of the presentation. Send us an email and we will get you that information directly to help with that. And then if you do see some negative online reviews, if they've been within the past 6 to 12 months, I would say go ahead and respond to them. You don't want to be defensive in your response. You want to make sure that you craft the response carefully. But we also have some guides on how to respond to negative reviews that we can send out directly to you if you need help with that. So please feel free to follow up if you want help with that. So once you've got that baseline really established and you know what's going on with your brand online, you want to start monitoring anything new that's going to pop up. So in order to do that, you want to set up Google and Yahoo alerts that will send you an email every day with any type of mention of your business name online. So that's going to let you know any type of new activity that's going on. The third thing then is you want to start a really proactive approach to start generating online reviews for your business. So you may post a survey and ask people to give you feedback on your website. Send out a follow-up email to happy clients asking for reviews online and send them directly to those listings. You definitely don't want to pay for reviews. You also don't want to encourage reviews from your location, because if reviews are coming from your IP address, those will typically get weeded out by the directories. So you want to make sure that you're getting real legitimate reviews here. But one thing that a self-storage facility that I work with has done that's worked well for them is they'll have people fill out customer comment cards while they're in the facility. They may have been working with them for a couple of months and they're happy and they're having a good experience. So the manager there will ask a client to fill out a comment card, give them any feedback. The manager will then review the comments after they're submitted, and they'll go through the cards, and if there's something negative, they can address it directly. If there's something positive, though, what they'll do is they will actually take the exact quote from the customer that was put on that comment card and send that customer an email and say, for example, Leslie, thank you so much for your positive feedback that you gave us recently on our comment card. Customer service is incredibly important to us. As you probably know, it's really important for a local business to have a strong online reputation, and we're actively trying to get the word out about what a great job we do for our clients like you. Would you mind just taking what you wrote and copying and pasting it into this listing on this directory for us? And then you give them a link to whatever directory you want them to post the comment on, and that way you make it super easy for somebody to get online and write something positive about you. They've already got it written down. They just have to copy and paste. But you're getting the message out about how great your facility is in the most important places possible, which is going to be in front of new eyeballs, new potential customers who are looking you up and doing research about you online as well. The fourth thing that you want to consider doing to lower your cost per lease is add live chat to your website. So if you recall what I mentioned earlier in the presentation, that statistic that somewhere between 91 to 93% of people are going to leave your website without ever contacting you, you want to make sure that you give them as many ways to contact you as possible, and that we really milk all the leads possible out of the website traffic that you're getting. So live chat is going to add a fourth point of contact into your website beyond your phone number, your email, and your web form on your site. And this is really important for a number of reasons. People will be doing research at work when they really can't pick up the phone and call you, but maybe they think that if they fill out a form, it's just going to go into a black hole somewhere, which I can't tell you how many times I've had that happen to me. So live chat gives them a human face, somebody they can readily engage with, and the other beautiful thing about it is it can be on your website 24 hours a day. So it's going to help capture leads and capture information from people when you're not there at your desk, able to answer your phone. There's a couple of different models for how you can pay for live chat. You can get a widget that you manage and you monitor during your business hours that sits there, and so you do have to make sure that you have somebody from your office at the computer at all times to be able to respond and answer any chat questions. There's also a couple of other ways to do it, one of which is a pay-per-lead model where you have a company actually manage it for you and you pay only for legitimate qualified leads that come through at a cost per lead typically of somewhere between $8 to $10. So the live chat is going to help you get more leads from your traffic and get them really cost effectively as well if you're using that pay-per-lead model. And then the fifth thing that you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure that your mobile presence is strong. So mobile usage, we all know, is going up and up and up. A lot of people really only use their smartphones or their tablets now to research local businesses. In fact, 73% of shoppers now are conducting research for local products and services on a mobile device. And this is incredibly important, too, for your industry because this is a very heavily focused drive-by industry. So people may be out and about. They may think, oh, you know what, I've been looking for a storage facility. Let me see what's around me. And they're going to use their phone to look and see who's nearby. So if your website isn't easy to navigate when they find you, and that's if they find you because you're running pay-per-click and you're showing up on a mobile device, then you're probably going to lose that prospective customer. So there's a couple of things you want to do to make sure that mobile presence is strong and effective. First, you want to make sure that mobile is turned on for your pay-per-click campaign so that you are showing showing up on mobile devices. And the other nice thing about this too is the cost per click is actually frequently lower on a mobile device than it would be on a desktop. So you're going to be able to get more traffic for your money. You also want to make sure that your website is mobile friendly and it's easy for somebody to navigate and then also click to call you from your website. And there's a couple of different ways you can have a mobile friendly website. You can set up a separate website with a separate URL that's strictly for mobile devices. Search engines though actually prefer something called responsive design, where you've got one website with one URL, but the format of it changes depending on what device somebody uses. So it's going to look different on a smartphone, a tablet, and a desktop as well. But so that's something that's really important, just so that you can show up well on your mobile devices and people have good user experience on mobile. And if you do have questions on how you can set your website up the right way, please feel free to reach out directly to Daniel or myself after the meeting, and we're more than happy to walk you through how to do that. So those are the 5 ways to use digital media to lower your cost per lease, but we do have a bonus for you as well, which I always like little extras. And this isn't necessarily online, but we found this article from usstoragenews.com that talks about just 13 additional profit centers for self-storage. So you've got the space, you've got the client base. Let's think about some different ways for you to make money off of them. So some of these you're probably already doing. Some of them may be new ideas, but I hope that they get you thinking a little bit and that maybe they provide an additional revenue stream for you. So the first is going to be adding in ice or vending machines. You could also consider adding in a car, boat, or RV wash. Think about retail sales, something you could sell other than boxes or packing supplies, wine storage, record storage, leasing out to cell tower companies, storage condos, boat, RV, and vehicle storage during the off-season, mobile storage, rental and moving trucks, adding in solar panels. Maybe get certified to do eBay sales and help your clients sell their things on eBay and make a commission off of it. And then finally, shelving rental as well. So the link to that article is up at the top of the slide. You're more than welcome to go and check it out, and it gives you a little bit more detailed information on how to implement all 13 of these in your facility. So that's it. We appreciate your time so much today. Our contact information is below. Please feel free to email, call, text either of us at the numbers listed, and we will also follow up directly with the participants to answer any questions that you may have. Thanks so much.